Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Judge Napolitano catches Hillary Clinton in a horrible lie about her Weinstein donations. It took Hillary Clinton 5 days to speak out against Harvey Weinstein. I was just sick. I was shocked. I was appalled. It was something that was just intolerable in every way. And like so many people who have come forward and spoken out. This was a different side of a person who I and many others had known in the past, said Hillary. But there is one thing she wouldn't do: give any of his money back. Hillary claimed that it was impossible to calculate exactly how much Weinstein gave her. Judge Napolitano called her out on this lie. That is not accurate. If she's talking about cash, Weinstein bundled, where he had a party and people came to the party and each gave the max and he handed the checks to her. There's a paper trail of all of that, said Napolitano. If he gave money to the Democratic National Committee or a PAC where the amount, there's no cap on it, there's a paper trail on that. So there's certainly a person or an entity to which the money can be given back. What is she going to do with that money? Give it to the Clinton Foundation? Asked Napolitano. If he's indicted, tried, and convicted of rape, you're talking about 20 years. You're talking about a very serious crime, said Napolitano. Joe Scarborough compares President Trump to Stalin and Chairman Mao for calling out fake news. President Trump called out another fake news story from the mainstream media. Fake news made up a story that I wanted a tenfold increase in our U.S. nuclear arsenal. Pure fiction, made up to demean NBC equals CNN. With all of the fake news coming out of NBC and the networks, at what point is it appropriate to challenge their license? Bad for country, tweeted President Trump. The mainstream media is horrified by the possibility of being held accountable for spreading misinformation. MSNBC's Joe Scarborough compared President Trump to Stalin and Chairman Mao. Of all the things, the shocking things, the president has said, and he said so many, channeling Chairman Mao and Joseph Stalin by calling the media an enemy of the people. Saying that First Amendment rights, saying the ability of newspapers to write what they want to write is quote disgusting and someone should look into it, maybe the most frightening of all and the most disgusting, said Scarborough. And again, we are starting to hear people talking more and more about the 25th Amendment. Steve Bannon, warning the president that is what will remove him from office, if anything, removes him from office. Tom Barrack, his longtime friend, saying he is shocked and stunned by what he's seen from Donald Trump, said Scarborough. And Bob Corker saying, we could add all of this up and now you have a president who is actually dismissing the most sacred right Americans have had since 1787, the right of free speech, said Scarborough. Trump didn't challenge the right to free speech, he challenged legitimate news organizations to be responsible when they tell lies to the public. CNN admits that them and most Democratic leaders are beholden to Weinstein. Ever since the start of the 2016 election, it has been incredibly obvious how bought off Hillary Clinton and the rest of the Democrats really are. CNN senior White House correspondent Jeff Zeleny pretty much admits this, and that one of the main buyers is Hollywood sexual predator Harvey Weinstein. Largely, it was an open secret, though, in all these circles, his behavior. And the reality is, California is the biggest and most flush ATM for Democratic politics in this country. He stood at the center of that, said Zeleny. Nancy Pelosi, add her name to this list as well. She put out a very short statement on this. But the reality is, most of the leaders of the Democratic Party are beholden to him, have been beholden to him, and she still is the leader of the House Democrats here, said Zeleny. Why not get out and give an interview, give a press conference? I mean, they have personal relationships with Harvey Weinstein. This is hypocrisy this week, no doubt. Because this was not a secret, said Zeleny. How many people do you think knew about Weinstein the whole time, and how many Democrats in Congress will Weinstein still be able to buy off? Jake Tapper responds to Weinstein scandal by talking about how much he hates Sean Hannity. Many people from all sides of the politics have come out and condemned the actions of Democratic sexual predator Harvey Weinstein. However, CNN's Jake Tapper decided to make it all about President Trump and Sean Hannity. Now we have counted at least 11 women who have accused President Trump of sexual harassment or sexual assault on the record. Jessica Drake said in a press conference that Mr. Trump reportedly grabbed her, kissed her without consent and offered her money to have sex with him, said Tapper. Summers Yervos, a contestant on The Apprentice, accused Mr. Trump of harassing her on multiple occasions, including one where he reportedly thrust his genitals at her. Jessica Leeds told the New York Times that during a flight in the 1980s he sat next to her, lifted the armrest and began to grab her breasts and put his hands up her skirt. He was like an octopus, his hands were everywhere. She said, he continued. And that's only 3 of the 11. Now Mr. Trump has denied the allegations, but these women deserve our attention too. Even as those close to the president try to suggest otherwise, said Tapper. Then he went after Sean Hannity. Those who express outrage at one sexual harasser and not another because the first sexual harasser's political views, that is morally bankrupt, and this was a point made interestingly enough by Fox News anchor Sean Hannity last night, saying the left has this selective moral outrage. It's a cogent point, except that very same Sean Hannity posted sexual harasser Bill O'Reilly on his show 2 weeks ago. O'Reilly, of course, fired from Fox News Channel after an investigation into multiple allegations of sexual harassment, including multiple settlements, said Tapper. So why is Tapper taking his anger out on Republicans? Joy Reid claims that Tucker Carlson is just as bad as a rapist because he works at Fox News. MSNBC's Joy Reid attacked Tucker Carlson for daring to insult Democratic sexual predator Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein is not just being accused of sexual assault, but now there are rape allegations against him. The 2 biggest hypocrites on this, I have to say, are Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson. They had lots to say about Harvey Weinstein. And you know what? What they said about Harvey Weinstein is true. But, I mean, they're sitting in the seats of Bill O'Reilly, sitting in his chair, said Reid. Apparently, if someone is accused of sexual assault, you need to throw out their chair. However, there is a huge difference between Weinstein and Bill O'Reilly. Weinstein has admitted guilt, he has said that he needs to change. The charges against Weinstein are far more severe and numerous. The allegations against O'Reilly were flimsy and totally unproven. She then read a tweet from Carlson. It is time for justice for Harvey Weinstein. He is a serial predator, said the tweet. He's sitting in Bill O'Reilly's chair. At Roger Ailes Network. She said again. As if that has meaning. For whatever reason, Reid wants to silence conservatives who she should be siding with. We should all be able to come together and condemn the actions of Harvey Weinstein. No matter what chair you sit in. Harvey Weinstein's own brother just publicly trashed him, said why he's sick and depraved. Accused sexual assaulter and rapist Harvey Weinstein, who was one of Democrat Hillary Clinton's biggest fundraisers during her failed 2016 election campaign, has vigorously denied the accusations brought against him, through his legal team. However, Weinstein's own brother poured cold water over Harvey's claims of innocence when he spoke out against Harvey's misdeeds and called them sick and depraved. Bob Weinstein is also a film producer, but he is known to be a family man and does not share Harvey's reputation along with his DNA. Said Bob in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter about his sibling, "I find myself in a waking nightmare. My brother has caused unconscionable suffering. As a father of 3 girls, I say this with every bone in my body, I am heartbroken for the women that he has harmed." He continued, "I know him on a personal level better than anyone. It's hard to describe how I feel that he took at the emptiness inside of him in so many sick and depraved ways. It's a sickness, but not a sickness that is excusable. It's a sickness that's inexcusable." Bob added, "I don't feel an ounce of remorse coming from him, and that kills me, too. When I heard his written, lame excuse. Not an excuse." When Bob was asked if he would help with criminal investigations against Harvey, he replied, "100%, if it came to that. If I had anything to offer, I would. 100%. I'm mortified and disgusted by my brother's actions. And I am sick for the victims. And I feel for them. I feel for them. Are you glad Harvey's brother had the decency to speak out against him for what he did?"